Yeah, right, right. Sure.
They can read those tea leaves reasonably. It's been a good 6 years.
Good.
He,
He's graduating this year?
yep.
All right.
That's him down there with the flowing blonde locks.
Oh, okay.
Base
All
helmet on.
right.
96.
Gotcha.
We got a bunch of singers this year.
Uh-huh. So you won't be announcing next year?
Oh, I'll probably put that in. I love doing it.
Yeah, you're pretty good, man. Yeah. You should pick something up with Vype.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I've got the time and the information to do that.
Oh.
Certainly have while I still have kids.
Yeah.
Kids at home.
Right. If they could plug you in for play-by-play here, you know, when it's convenient,
Sure.
that would be some easy money for you. What do you do?
I'm a school teacher.
Oh, are you?
Teach high school science.
Oh, gotcha.
Keeps me busier than my dad's great Texas. Busier than 3 peppers a day.
Yes.
I'm literally the science teacher for my high school. We're a small Jewish Orthodox faith school.
Oh, no kidding. All right.
But that means I've got to teach, basically I'm teaching 6 classes, and 5 of them are entirely different subjects.
Wow.
Oh,
Like biology?
I have AP Biology, AP Computer Science Principles.
Oh, you teach computer science?
I teach Algebra 2 this year.
Oh, wow.
I'm teaching 2 sections of chemistry for 9th and 10th graders, and I have physics. So
Okay.
there are days where literally I just don't remember who it is I'm supposed to be teaching and what it is until they show up. Right? A little bit.
Well, I hope they're paying you pretty good.
It's all right. It's all right.
Making it worth your while, I guess.
Yeah, in small classes,
Oh,
pretty good
no.
resources. I mean,
That helps.
We don't have the 52 kids in high school.
Yeah, right.
I may teach them all, and some of them actually get twice.
Well, they're getting their money's worth out of you, that's for sure.
They are. And they're good kids. And, we were able to...
It's a private school.
Yeah, it's private.
Yeah.
We were able to make virtual stuff work.
But that's way up in Cyprus?
No, it's actually just about 3 miles that way.
Oh, wow. And you live up in Cyprus?
I do. I meet all the time. My wife's the history department chair here.
Oh, over here?
All 3 of our kids, this is our last one, all 3 of our kids have gone here.
Oh, gotcha.
Our life has kind of revolved around this place.
Yeah.
And,
so now your wife's going to retire. Y'all, it'll be like a vacation now for her.
It is going to get a little quieter.
Yeah.
And, it's just the 2 of us coming in and out as opposed to 3 or 4 or 5. There was another kid in my right between these 2, between the other 2.
Okay.
Who lived right around the corner from us in Bridgeland. His mom actually taught out at Cyfair in middle school, and she started off when he was a freshman trying to drive him in here and get back out.
Oh, man. Wow.
And as soon as we found out that they were out there, we're like, no, that ain't happening.
Yeah,
right?
no
We got
way.
him. We're good. He was a football kid. My middle son was a football kid. They were, same practices, same stuff.
Gotcha.
And, then that broadened at various points to a couple of his friends who were here and were out. So, there were times we were trundling 4 and 5 kids
Wow.
on any given day.
Yeah, I live out in Cinco Ranch. So.
Yeah, that's a fur piece out there, too.
But it's really convenient with the West Park Tollway.
Yep.
It's just a straight shot.
Yep. As long as nothing goes wrong with that sucker, it's pretty handy.
It's worth the money when it's flowing.
Yep. We'll use that at points too. We'll use 290 as long as it's working. But sometimes we can back road 99 into 10 and catch that HOV if we need to, or 290 to Beltway 8 to West Park.
But man, y'all dealt with the days that 290 was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, lots of them.
God.
Lots of them.
That it's a dream compared to what it used to be.
Oh, it's delightful. Truly.
Yeah.
And now that they've gotten a bunch of the connectors sorted from 290 to 10 and 610, it's like it used to be you'd come in the HOV lane and you'd have to get dumped into the Northwest Transit Center and then get out of there and
that is
mess around with the access road up 610. That was extra. But
now they have it all connected.
Yeah, you can actually, as you come around that big swooping curve, you can just drop in, get onto one of the other connectors and hop right over.
Yeah.
Get dumped on the 610 right there before it hits the I-10.
Yeah.
That's glorious.
Yeah, that's convenient for sure. I moved here in 2012 and I was like, wow, the civil engineers for this place, man, they're getting reamed.
It's crazy.
I still don't understand how they only have one feeder from I-10 to South 45. I still don't get that. And how Austin's behind us, right?
Yeah.
But wait, it's San Antonio or Austin? Which one has the flyover?
Austin.
Austin
That's
does,
the,
right?
the tall express.
Yes. And that's what they need on 610
Yep.
in the Galleria. Totally.
Well, folks, hey
Hi,
there.
sir. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, no,
That would solve a lot of headaches.
it would help. It sure would. The problem is the headaches it caused while you were building.
Oh yeah, that would be.
That one's a rough go.
Mm-hmm.
Austin got theirs in early enough to just make it like hours. And they're trying to work around it with like some of these express routes, some other
Yeah.
things that are helping alleviate traffic.
Right.
But they're still just trying to do that.
Yeah, I guess the Woodway helped. Pretty good deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's easier said than done.
It's
And hindsight for sure, you know.
we've been here since middle of 2000.
2003.
And so we were here for the I-10 expansion too.
Oh wow, yeah, y'all saw a lot of growth.
Those west and northwest corridors, man, they're not what they used
That is crazy.
to be. Yeah.
Yeah, they told me at work whenever I got here in 2012, they were like, you should have seen it before. You should have seen the Katy Freeway before. I was like, oh man.
It was a mess. Dean, how you doing today?
Just trying to get this graduation plan.
Mm.
You got us, and I should be blasting out an email to all the parents tomorrow. I'm going to have to widen the swath of the graduation area. We have 21 more students, but I'm going to try to get 2 more big screens. So we'll have them, we'll have 4 altogether. So, because I can see us going from across end line to end line. I want to try to bump up the amount of guests this year from last year. So, just got to get to the style show, prom, and think about it. At least the seniors get something.
If you need help with any AV production, I can help you.
Oh, thank you. I know we got Prime Systems fired up for graduation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Please let me know.
Brayton's a sociable kid, but he's not a social kid. Yeah, so he hasn't missed a lot. He still has a really strong group of get that experience. I don't think he's particular in this whole lot.
Jacob's playing.
We haven't sent them
But then
yet.
he found out he has like a 7-on-7 football thing. He's trying to get out of that so he can play lacrosse.
It's a cool
So I believe we'll have, it's all legacy
We've had a couple
kids
actually attend.
yeah, I think it's just a one-day deal. And
We had a part A class. I got to be in a slow stand across the board.
Brayton may take us skiing. He's done once and wasn't thrilled, but it was more like ice skating and skiing.
Yeah.
It's just a
Any slow working?
yes.
yeah, I mean, you know,
It's actually kind of nice.
Jacob just wants to play. He didn't. I just said, "You want to play?"
Like
Yeah, I'll
almost a
play.
literal brother.
Yeah, I didn't even tell him what it was.
12-year classmates in St. Mark's.
Oh, my.
Yeah. He's a
Oh, okay.
Lori's like,
Yeah.
just schedule something on our own weekend. We don't have anything. And I'm like, okay, we got it. Just have a good school bill or something.
Yeah, everybody's home. You know, which is good to hear.
North Texas, you've been all this summer, or this year?
They have Trail of the Winter,
Okay.
which, you know, of the two, Garrett's and Austin College.
Right.
You know, their dorm situation is just old school, a couple of dudes in a little cubicle room.
You just decided not to come back, right?
He's
Go back to school,
He's
but
back
you
doing
decided.
it all.
That's what I meant, okay, that's what
He's graduate.
What's his name?
Wish we're pretty writing
Pete?
Probably.
Mom and Dad?
Probably. We'll try to push it all the way through to, you know, we're going to stop here. Do a college process.
Yeah, I've had my 2 shots.
That is true.
Got that, it's not that.
Jakey said it. Coach, he said Coach told me if I can prove to them that I have asthma, I don't have to wear my
And
mask.
the amusing part is, when he's looking at your pocket
It's
tools,
your prescription.
he's sizing up. What am I getting into? Which, you know, in college, that's important.
I don't think
Not this side.
Actually, pretty good.
Can you both
half the
grab
kids have masks on, half of them don't.
program, or just let me assist at the end? Well, some have it. I just don't know if they're going to.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's real enamored of the doctor offering.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at the benches, the seats, 6 feet apart over there, and I'm like, nobody even sits in them. They're standing the whole day.
Yeah, I think that was like,
Let's say, what do you think? I guess that was the right one.
Well, they gave me the phone, I gotta put that app back on my phone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't hear it a moment ago, yes, that was the lightning siren there. That means we are now in a lightning delay, and you should get yourself off the giant metal stands. All right. Usually there's a minimum of 30 minutes of wait time here, so with any luck, we might be resuming play by 7 o'clock or so.
Yeah, it looks like we're just, we may build more rain, but it should be out by
It's theoretically gonna line up around here, but you know, still got that 8-mile lightning perimeter, or 10 miles or whatever it is. So that covers a lot of turf.
Last year, we went out 3 times during graduation.
Yeah.
We just said, we told someone, don't turn that alarm off. We're not stopping. And then the bishop came to me afterwards and he showed me the radar. It was in back of us.
Yeah.
It actually spread like the Red Sea went
It
around
parted
us.
around,
I mean,
yeah.
it was cloudy, it was cool.
Oh, y'all
You
got
know,
blessed,
I
huh?
mean, cool.
And not
Yeah.
by the water.
Yeah, sure.
And it was.
And then it opened up right after, or no?
No, it didn't really do anything until later in the evening.
Oh, gotcha. Isn't that amazing?
Because I think the kids were still on the field almost to 8:15, even though it ended like about 7:20. So.
It had to be nice. I mean, they hadn't had much of a chance to see each other for a while.
Exactly.
Because of what was going on.
Mm.
But
That's pretty cool.
we've had some doozies. Hey, babe. Yeah, it'll expire hopefully around 6:55 or so. Okay. Yep. Yeah. If you're getting drinks, grab me some. I would appreciate it. Grazie. So I've got some water, Gatorade, Body Armor, those would be good. Just about anything. I'm not real picky. Body Armor, strawberry, banana, fruit punch, anything berry. Gatorade is pretty much any flavor that's not the zero. So as long as it has actual sugar. All right. Thank you much. Be safe. Bye.
Have you guys been back to school the entire time?
It varies. we kind of went backstage where we got the younger kids in first.
Younger meaning
and
middle school
earlier.
or?
Well, we go all the way down to like 15 minutes. We basically do like Jewish daycare for the Orthodox crowd. So, we started our early childhood through 6th grade.
Okay.
Pretty much on time. Our normal starts about when Episcopal's is.
Okay.
And then the high school, for no reason anyone could ever adequately explain, started 3 weeks later and virtual. So if we were going to start virtual, I don't know why we didn't start with everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, that's strange.
And every one of us was teaching AP classes, and I got 3 different ones this year. It was like, dude, you were phoning this
strange. Yeah, you
so
just threw out
horribly.
3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
That hurts.
Uh-huh.
In an AP class.
Uh-huh. So,
Wow, that is strange.
but hey, we're going to go into the middle of June, so that'll be great.
Oh, that's going that far in. Oh,
I think my last day's like the 17th or 18th.
yeah, but AP exams are done in May.
I know.
So you won't have any AP classes.
No, not really. I have, particularly with the seniors, because they would normally do a trip to Israel, they couldn't obviously do this year.
Right.
They're going to go up to Colorado for a week,
Okay.
kind of after AP exams. So that'll shut down chunks of IPs, but I also have juniors in AP classes too, so they'll still be around for
So you only have a
another
couple of
month.
classes through the 17th?
Yeah.
Because juniors in AP, there's not too much you can,
No.
once I take that AP exam, they're kind of...
Yeah, they've mostly checked out.
Yeah.
So I don't have any great hope for getting work. We're gonna pick a couple of really good, appropriate content-wise sorts of movies.
Yeah.
It's like my AP Bio. Oh, they're all seniors. Never mind. Yeah, I won't have AP Bio at all. My physics are all seniors.
Well, at least
my
you're not-
computer science, my AP computer science principals, kids are juniors, but there's lots of good computer movies.
Yes, there are. Well, at least you're not teaching every single section. 'Cause even though it's kind of tough, but...
I'm literally teaching every high school science class we have.
Well, I'm
this
talking
year.
the multiple sections.
Oh,
Seniors
yeah,
will be gone.
No.
So do
No,
you
we'll
have to
split.
go to, can you leave when the class is over then? Do they make you stay full day?
I
That would be a killer.
Yeah, they tend to kind of look the other way about it. As long as we're keeping up with what we need to do. We'll finish out with exams middle of June. Anyway.
This is not the norm. This is just because of the 3 week late start.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We normally go a good week or two later than y'all do
Us, yeah.
by a pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, our teachers are out there for Memorial Day this year.
I know.
Wow. That's, it's going to be the same way next year.
Yeah, we normally go to like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, kind of depends on where calendars fall of June. And so we're going a week and a half longer than we planned.
Is that including in service?
Yeah, we only have we do 1 day of in-service at the end of the year, and it's pretty much a hey, nice to see you. Have a nice breakfast, go clean up your rooms and finish up all the crap you need to do, and go home.
See, we're Monday, Tuesday, half day, Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's a killer.
Yeah. I hear you. I don't know, it's all still better than dealing with public school
Oh.
service where if you're new, you're there 2 solid work weeks ahead of time. And, you know, we normally did, I think, 8 working days of service before classes started.
Yeah, Ben Good was, class 2000, he was teaching up on our English.
Yeah.
He told me that, you know, 45 desks, 40 kids, 30 books.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't know half the time how many people were actually going to be there.
And whether they were the right people.
Yeah, pregnancies, they were in juvie, you know, all that kind of stuff. And,
Yeah.
and then they made him take that test exam early May, and he had 3 weeks where he was just doing this.
Yeah.
Because
Because
they were done.
There's nothing left.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't believe
that's
it.
a tough road.
Yeah, I did that for 7 years,
Oh.
and it was enough. It was. Yeah, we were.
I mean, the top brass don't help you. They just take care of their own things.
A lot of times, yeah, it depends. I mean, there were good and bad APs, right? You always figured out pretty quick who you could go talk to
Yeah.
if you needed something done.
Yeah.
Right. So half of the APs were useless, half of them were okay, and those were the folks that you really leaned on anyway. So if you had to escalate something all the way to the assistant or the head of school, you were pretty well screwed anyway. So,
Yeah, what if that change? That'd be tough. They're just, you know, too many pitfalls.
I tell you, the one time I really got my butt chewed in those 7 years, I had a kid who went from making B pluses, A minuses as a freshman to within 2 months he was making D's and F's, and the kid was just visibly falling apart. Right, had stopped bathing, this, that, and the other.
Oh my. Okay.
And
A lot going on.
so we were talking with him, and by we I mean I was, because I was about to paying attention, and he was telling me basically, you know, the way they go from middle schools to high schools can be really strange. And basically, he'd gotten split off from everybody he knew,
Oh, okay.
and you know, home life was not great. He was just miserable and didn't know how to cope. And so I suggested that, hey, you know, your kids are at the other, you know, your friends are all at this other high school. Why don't you call them and ask and see if the transfer is?
Yeah.
Right. And if that's something you can clear through folks here, then do it. And so he came back to me and, a few days later, asked me to write a recommendation and try to help me explain what I've been seeing. So I wrote that, suggested that, you know, given that all of his friends were there, maybe that was a solution. Because I'd actually lost a kid to suicide about 2 years before this. And so, you know, I wasn't going to sit around on my hands.
No.
And let this kid go down that same drain. And, oh man, when that letter got to the other school, they kicked it back to my folks, and my folks just crapped all over me.
When because it's just save money, it's one person.
No, but this was a white kid going from a predominantly minority school to a predominantly white school.
So that's all they saw.
Yeah, that's all they thought. That my argument was, despite the fact that it said nothing whatsoever about it.
Right.
It was all based on observable behaviors and this, you know, demonstrated downhill slide. And oh man, I mean, it was like Star Tribunal shit. They sat me in front of the head's desk and had the assistant head, the director of instruction, and my particular AP evaluator sitting like ringing me, right? So I could barely see 3 of the 4 of them. Oh my God, that was ugly. But I was like, you know what? Look, y'all may not like it. That was not what I suggested. You're inferring that. They're inferring that. I didn't write that.
Yeah.
And I said, I am not going to have another kid die on me.
Yeah.
And that pulled the fangs enough. But Jesus, man.
You talk about the kid getting kicked in the teeth again.
But they were not going to let it happen and just leave the kid there to rot. And somebody finally wised up and realized if they did that and he died, I'd like to take the trouble.
Oh, yes, you did.
And I
Yes, you
sure
did.
as hell wasn't going to keep going.
Yeah. I think once you talked about that previous student,
Yeah.
yeah, I think the bell started going on.
That's you gotta you gotta think about it, and that's, I get it, it's not something they want to do.
Right.
I understand, but, you know what, I mean, that, there's
Well, something you don't want to do, it's something you need to do.
It is. And, you gotta do the right thing by the kids.
Okay.
Even if it's an individual kid and you're worried about the broader principle of the thing. But,
No, you're exactly right.
it's,
I mean, some of these kids are on social contact.
yeah.
You know, this is when they're at school. This home life is not what we're used to.
No, that kid of mine, I was his last block class, so I was the last class he ever took. And I found out from a couple of the other kids in that class, he was kind of talking a little bit like he was going to do it, and then laughed it off as a joke. But it turned out, and of course, school didn't tell us this, he had a pretty severely special needs younger sibling at home, and he was responsible for a lot of the care for that kid as a freshman in high school. And he had started taking a little bullying around school because he was a black kid who dressed nicely in skunk work, which wasn't the thing at my building in particular. And so they decided he was getting away, and that was the straw that pushed him over the edge. But we didn't know any of it. And I'd been watching him for a week or two and thinking, yeah, he's a little less normal than he should be, but man, it's teens are roller coasters, right? Especially as freshmen.
Where do you do it? You know, that's to go to that length and that type of an action. There's a lot of pain there.
I spent 6 months helping put the two kids he talked to about it kind of back together and keeping them falling into depression.
And you talk about self-blame.
And I will take guilt for that all the way to the day I die.
Well, that's just such a tough one because there could be signs, but they're not, there could be a lot of reasons why there's a slight difference in his action. Yeah, personality.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, if
It's tough, yeah.
We had an educational psychologist come to Hockey Day one time to talk to us about teenagers. And it was actually one of the better services we ever had. But my big takeaway from him was he said, the time you worry about high school kids and teenagers in general is when they stop complaining.
Yeah.
If they are complaining, they're probably
As
You're a
long as
parent,
you're
you know how that
engaged,
works.
you should be okay.
Yeah.
When they stop engaging, it's
That's when you start to
that could be one sign.
Yeah, it's
but they do shut down too,
they do sometimes.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then they bounce right back. So it's like you can't
It's hard
you can't go crying wolf on everyone. I
Nope.
mein, it's,
No, but it's that degree of shutdown. You gotta,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
a
you
fu-
gotta kind of dig deep
yeah.
and see, kind of look at their past tendencies and see why this possibly shutdowns happen.
Right.
It could be boyfriend, girlfriend, it could be academics, could be athletics, could be at home. It just, you really have to dig deep and if you're close enough to a kid, you can get there.
That's the trick.
But if they don't
It's
let
the
you in, that's a
connection.
tough part.
Yeah, that is really hard. I'm thinking about those kids at Columbine, and
Yeah.
something was really.
Well, to have some of that crap in your room and your parents not know it, I mean.
Oh, the parents knew it.
My son, well, Dad, you can't go in my room. I said, well, when did you buy a house?
Yeah, right.
This is my home.
You paying rent?
Yeah, we're just allowing me to live here until you go to college,
That's right.
So-
What's the deal?
Yeah, that's
He
not
actually
good.
told you that, huh?
Well, I mean, it was one of those, I'm kind of bump out my chest.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm going to give it a shot and see where it goes. He went out real quick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it was, my wife and I were very calm and said, Well, son, you can always go live with your friends. And you know what? This was his between his sophomore and junior year of college.
Oh, wow.
And he took me on my bluff. He
Yeah.
packed his backpack. Said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go live with my friends for a couple of weeks. I said, okay, they picking you up? No, I'm driving. I said, when did you buy a car? Because that car's mine. He went upstairs and
Oh, I bet he was pissed.
we were complaining about his room because it looked like, you know, a college dorm.
Right.
I mean, okay, when you're a freshman, that's okay. You know, after that freshman year, there's no excuse, and I tell you,
Yeah.
he called us up there, and you could eat off the floor.
Oh, wow.
You know what? Again,
He
you
got-
call their bluff, and you do it in a nice way.
Yeah.
They get the point. They get the point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gray's a stubborn cuss as ever walked the earth, and at one point he got really uppity about something like that, so I took the door off his room.
Uh-huh.
That worked. He hated that. That lasted 2 days.
Where's my door?
Where's my
What do you
door?
mean? It's my
Oh,
door.
yeah, they hate that.
That's a great, I like that.
I did that to my daughter.
Hey. Yeah, I know. We're hearing it up here in a soft flash, so we may not be at this anytime soon. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But you're welcome to come up and hang with us if you want.
Stay dry.
I got Colello up here, and camera guy. And, you know, we got air conditioning and.
I have some crackers if y'all want some.
How could they possibly have built this thing without knowing it? See, that's... We gotta get Colello on
The
this.
new one's gonna have one. The new one. They told me the new one's gonna have one.
Anyway. If I were y'all, I'd just kind of park and stay for the moment. And as soon as I hear anything, I'll let you know. Yeah.
What are the chances they postpone this to tomorrow?
Yeah. I hear you. I just circling the block, Austin. Okay. Sure. Yeah, there was nary a spot to be had down here in the little athletic lot, but there might be something else. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know, since you've got a... Sure. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Love a bunches. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye.
This was pre-Donnelly, but one year we played the Woodlands the day before spring break, and it did this.
Uh-huh.
We didn't start the game until 11 p.m. Like,
Oh,
are you guys
God.
kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean, it was ridiculous. Like,
Oh, they're gonna have to pay me extra if I'm staying that long.
It was a 7 o'clock game. It's like, you guys, you know,
No.
at about 9 o'clock, it's like, you know what? Maybe you should call it a day.
If we're gonna stay that long, they might have to pay
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
Uh,
Well, I got the keys in the bookstore. There's ice cream and candy and chips, so.
oh, right on.
Food.
Okay.
Plenty of food.
Good news was I had lunch late, so I should be good. But oh man, yeah, I've been through a couple of days. Not so bad up here.
Well, I'm gonna close this for the time being.
Let me tell you my big house football story
No. In Michigan?
in Michigan.
Yes.
So, both of my folks are alums of Michigan grad schools. My
Okay.
dad's got his MBA, mom got her ed master's, and so Michigan was, you know, on my list of schools to look at. And we went up there fall of 1986.
Okay.
And it happened to be, we were going to be up there over a home football weekend.
Yep.
So my dad's secretary at the time, it turns out, had a friend in the Michigan Athletics Department. Okay. We didn't know quite how high up the friend happened to be until we got there. They said, oh yeah, we got tickets for you, we'll leave them at your hotel, just check the front desk. And so we go to the front desk. And they have to, here's your envelope, we open it up, and it's these weird looking red tickets that say press box and have Sugar Bowl written on them. And I'm like, hang on a second. I'm not sure these are our tickets.
Yeah.
Because that's the only envelope here and it's got your name on it. So,
Okay.
as it turned out, the friend in the athletic department was Bo Schembechler's secretary.
Oh,
And the Sugar Bowl.
that's high up.
That would be up there. And so the Sugar Bowl had been thinking about Michigan for a bowl game, but they were playing really well. This was Harbaugh's senior year. So the Sugar Bowl had kind of given up on getting them because it's pretty clear they were probably going to the Rose Bowl. And so they just give them the tickets back, and the athletic department had them and said, "Yeah, we'll give them to these guys." And so we're up there with all the the big bowl guys in their various weird colored jackets, and a whole bunch of football prospects down in front of us, and big buffets, and you could walk out and just that stadium's ridiculous.
You walk up to that stadium.
It doesn't look that big.
It's not that big. Then you look down, it's like it's all underground.
It is.
I mean,
it's amazing because it literally doesn't come up much higher from the ground than our press box.
No, but it goes deep. 107,000?
They put, I think they list the capacity at like 108, 109, and they put 112, 113 in
Unbelievable. I'm a Purdue boy, so
there you go.
we don't have one of those, but the first time I visited Michigan, the kids only got to see the cube, so went and saw the cube, and then a couple of our kids at Passano's played lacrosse for Michigan, so I went and watched them practice in their indoor arena. And then we went to it was I want to say March. So we just walked to the football field. And you're right, we drove up to one and go,
doesn't look like much.
Then we went up to it and go, are you kidding me? I mean, it looks like you're on a skyscraper.
You want to talk a massive humanity.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It's pretty impressive.
That turned out to be the only game Michigan lost that year. They went 10-1 and lost to Minnesota.
I guess that helps keep the warmth in there too.
I mean, this was like mid-October, so it wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty weekend.
But being concealed from the wind and
absolutely.
You still feel the cold because back then they didn't have turf, or if they did, they had that new AstroTurf, which was like playing on cement.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's frosty on the field.
Yeah.
Up in the stands, you got a lot of people to keep you warm. But it was. That was one of the more interesting sporting experiences I've ever had.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was cool. And just
you don't notice it though on TV. You don't notice it's like that.
It's a lot harder to tell. I mean, you can tell it's got a funny slope to it. It's real shallow as it comes up. But it's a whole lot of people. I mean, you get Kyle Field rocking, I guess, with the new expansions they've got over there. It's pretty close. But that's a more obvious kind of stadium layout with steeper sides and everything. So
the exterior,
the feel is different.
But if your feet are warm and your hands are warm, the rest of your body doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
I know I played soccer in college, and we were playing one day, and it was going to be like 22 degrees because we played in the fall. That's when college plays soccer. And of course not now. They're playing in the spring because of COVID. But our coach told us, "Why don't you guys bring 2 loaves of bread before the game?" We're like, he's lost his freaking mind. We all had 2 loaves of bread. He goes, "Okay, open them up and I'll dump all the bread in this garbage can." We're like, "Okay, he's definitely lost his mind." He goes, "Okay, put on your undersock." I said, "Okay." Like he used to tell us how to get dressed. "Okay, coach." He goes, "Now put these bags over your sock, then put your soccer sock on." I got to tell you,
it works.
They insulated your feet. Your feet sweated. And we played the game of our lives because when your feet are warm, you can do anything.
Yeah, right?
So we bought bread in every bowl game the rest of the season.
That's a good little trick.
Yeah. We played a team that had all Nigerians, and they'd never seen snow before, and they were out there playing in parkas under their jerseys. It was the funniest thing.
Oh, wow.
They could not move as well as they could if it was warm.
No, I was probably fortunate for y'all.
Yes. They were pretty talented.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I just checked the weather up there. Our place up there, from now until the first week of May, the low is not going to get past 38 degrees. I mean, still, no snow, but some of the highs are going to be 65, 70.
Yeah.
But the lows are going to be 37, 38 degrees. Unbelievable.
Sounds lovely to me.
I can't wait to retire there. I'm telling you. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Whereabouts is it?
It's in the northeast part of Indiana. We're about 3 hours east of Chicago.
Okay.
About 2.5 hours north of Indianapolis.
Okay.
And if you look at Notre Dame,
Yeah.
we're about 45 minutes from South Bend. So
What's the name of the place?
it's called Hudson, Indiana. You know, we walk out in the morning, a cup of coffee, and all you hear is birds. There is no traffic. And we're kind of in the middle of Amish country. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A quaint little town, huh?
Oh yeah. The closest Walmart is 30 minutes away. The closest gun shop is a half a mile away. So, you know.
There you go.
Welcome to Indiana.
Priorities, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my wife's aunt spent some time there with her husband. They were thinking about retiring up there.
Yeah, we're about 30 miles or 20 miles south of Michigan and about 30 miles west of Ohio. So, you know, we can hit a lot of areas once we
Yeah.
retire.
But man, those
Just go outside
winters
driving.
are brutal.
They can be, but you know what? When it's cold, you stay inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stay, yeah. That's for sure.
I got a snow blower that I have never put gas in.
Well, down
But
here?
it's there if you need it.
Yeah, but because I've got a plow on my ATV, so
Yeah.
when I'm up there, it's kind of fun to do it.
Ah.
We've ice fished a couple of times, and so
And that's not terrible as long as you set up your little hut, right? So you're not in the wind.
exactly.
The ice is actually a pretty good insulator.
And the boots you
believe it or
wear
not.
are about 1.5 inches thick, so they're
so
insulated.
you're not losing heat.
And
from
we
your
put
feet.
those glove warmers in the bottom of our boots. It
Uh-huh.
stays nice and yeah.
Yep.
And depending on how thick the ice is, you can have a little fire out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to make sure how thick it is.
Well, I've never ice fished in my life, so
Yeah.
we've had this place since 2013, and I want to say 2016, it really iced up. My buddy said, okay, we're going ice fishing. So I flew down, and he goes, John, you stay behind me. I'm like, no shit. Stay behind you. Okay, I'm gonna let you, because you're a little heavier than I am. If you go through the ice, I got the rope. I said, I don't want to be the leader here.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it's at least 3 to 4 inches, you're good. Can't put a car on it, but we've seen ATVs on it. We've seen snowmobiles on it. You know, you go up to Michigan, like Ann Arbor, you're talking 2 or 3 feet of ice. You know, you put your truck and a house on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And some of those fish houses, oh my God,
Yeah.
They're nice, huh?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
All the amenities come because that's more or less what it is.
Yes.
I think I just saw another flash.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to get to this anytime soon. We'll see. But,
Yeah.
oh, man, that was one of the things that was fun going to school in Boston.
You know, you get football weather.
You do?
You know, I mean, there's nothing like a 60-degree night playing football.
Yep.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yep. And, you know, I mean, Ivy League football isn't great shakes, but everybody's pretty even.
You know what? Football's football. I mean,
And they've gotten a lot better
yeah.
over the years.
You know, by our place up there, we got a little 2A high school that I don't think has won a football game in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I told my wife, you know, just to go up there and watch wrestling or basketball and football, I mean, just that atmosphere.
Yeah.
But with like the Ivies, I think I've been to one game, and I've also been to an SEC game, which I hated because everybody's dressed up to the nines, and I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
You know, Big Ten, it's called shorts and a t-shirt, and you're there.
Yeah.
But you know, you just go to a game, like I said, it's 60, 65 degrees, and the schnapps doesn't hurt warming you up either.
Nope. And,
Now, do people stay for the full game? Or do they leave at halftime?
you usually see, unless it was a big rivalry game, you'd usually see some people leaving. But you know, it was mid-afternoon. The stadium didn't have lights at that point, so they didn't have night games until like 2012 or something. I think was the first night game in Rocket Stadium, and they put those in, I think, because of hockey. I think they were actually doing one of those outdoor
Okay.
hockey games for the NHL
Gotcha. Okay.
up there.
Besides Yale, who was your other big rival?
I was in a pretty good rivalry with Princeton.
Princeton, okay.
Yeah, in football, and to some degree, basketball and some other sports.
Yeah.
Hey, I see no signs of anybody coming back out here, so nobody's gotten word of anything. So I'd hang loose. And if anything, the rain's picking up. Looks like we got another cell maybe passing through or nearby. Is the rain's? Yeah, and there's rain coming in about 45 degrees now. It's getting heavy. So yeah, I think we're catching a boundary again, and that's where you'll get the lightning flashes. So yeah, I got a sneaking suspicion we may be a bit. Okay. Yeah, you can walk your way through, covered stuff. That's pretty easy. Okay. I will. Yep, no worries.
Yeah, this radar doesn't look good at all.
Sure. Yeah.
It keeps on pushing it.
Ooh.
The bad stuff is like building behind it.
Oh, yeah, it looks like we may be on the leading edge of a yellow to red cell that's coming in like straight over Bel Air. Yeah, so this may not be a thing today. Because eventually they're going to reach a point where they can't play on the field, I would think, without tearing into shreds. So,
We definitely needed the rain, though.
well, yeah, but that's football. That's a different thing.
There was another lightning.
Yeah. So. Right. Yep. I remember well. So. I'll keep you posted. All right. Love you. Bye. Tosh and Peggy are sitting in the parking lot.
What's that?
Tosh and Peggy are sitting out in the parking lot, just hanging out. But
Yeah, it doesn't look promising right
No, not at all.
now. It looks like that rain is kind of coming together.
Yeah,
It's splitting up. And now it's like
It's like building
merging
up
together, yeah.
even more behind the.
And there's some serious stuff behind it. I
Yes.
don't know how much it's going to last.
yeah.
Now past it, there's nothing. So Isaac, you don't have any relatives in Indiana, do you? Because my dad's, one of his best friends was a Jim Hardesty.
He's a Hardesty.
Yeah.
Well, a
Back
lot
in
of
the
my
hills.
family was in Kentucky,
Okay.
so
Oh my gosh. I think that's maybe where he was born.
could be a big possibility.
Wow. 'Cause I know
My dad's family is.
Yeah, there's more.
Oh man, that was a big strike.
Yeah.
My dad's family moved from Kentucky down to Alabama. They were farmers, and then my dad's father had 7 brothers.
Okay.
And
Kentucky sounds awful familiar.
yeah, they moved from Kentucky though, and I'm glad they did because I didn't want to live in Kentucky.
That's fair.
Like, when we're up there, we love going to Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Now it's even in daylight. People are getting
Yeah.
Yeah.
shot.
Oh, it's been dangerous, man. Yeah.
All the real nice areas downtown are kind of tough. But we love going to Chicago, see Chicago Blackhawks play.
Yeah.
But at night, it's unless your Uber comes right to the stadium, it's kind of scary.
That's a shame, man.
It is. The Chicago during the fall, I would say from from June to October, probably one of the prettiest cities in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it starts to get cold, it's kind of depressing.
I spent a week in Chicago for the NFC Championship game that the Saints were in 06.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a great time up there.
It's a nice place. A lot of great food.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great little hole-in-the-wall bars, piano bars.
Yeah, it's really, it was unique. It was really cool.
Comedy bars, just walk in and you just have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Sending one of the JV guys out to get electrocuted.
Yeah, right.
You go out there.
Yeah.
That's one of the Lewis boys. I can't remember if it's Jake or Will. They covering up the, they're covering
Scoreboard.
Oh, did Jay send him out there?
Probably.
He's like, man, I forgot to do this.
Yeah.
He's pulling the board, probably. Yeah, they just
Yeah,
pulled
just
it.
Yep.
turned it off.
They turned it off anyway, so it doesn't short.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new press boxes, I think, since it's gonna be they say 750 square feet, it has to have some type of mechanical lift,
Yeah.
whether it be an elevator or
Oh, yeah.
just a small one. And what they wanna do is put a level down there for one set of coordinators, a set here, another set of coordinators,
Uh-huh.
announcing pod, a clock pod, and then up on top it's going to be a hardscape roof.
Media route.
So
up there.
yeah, it won't, if it rains or whatever, it keeps the sun off your head.
Oh, right.
So,
Okay.
Nice.
but a
Looking
lot of
forward
the
to
places
that.
we're looking at, you're only talking about 125 grand,
Yeah.
and Dasco gave $250,000, so the money's there.
Mm.
When they're going to build it, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But we need one bad.
Yeah, you're wondering if I was going to come back. I'll definitely come back for that.
Oh, yeah,
That would be
man.
worth coming back to, right?
And then all you have to do is get where's all your goodies in the bookstore, the library. Yeah, get that in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. We,
I worked in the press for a long time. I was a TV cameraman
Uh-huh.
in New Orleans, and boy, I had my experience at Sugar Bowls.
I would imagine.
And a lot of bowl games and playoff games, and always the press box was always decked out with all kinds of.
Were you at that, was it the 2008 Sugar Bowl, Boise State and Oklahoma, the crazy game?
Oh, the hook and ladder.
The hook
Yeah,
and ladder,
yeah.
that you were there for that? Oh my
Yeah.
And the
God.
Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty.
That was an
Yeah.
awesome play.
And
man.
then the running back, after he scores the winning try, goes and
proposes.
proposes to his girlfriend. I mean, that game was so insane. That was Adrian
Yeah.
Peterson
Yeah.
for Oklahoma, and
Mhm.
Boise went way up, and Oklahoma came back and took the lead.
Peterson was their coach, Boise State?
No, Adrian Peterson, the running back for
I think
Oklahoma.
Peterson was the coach.
Oh,
Because then he went to
Doug
Washington.
Peterson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug Peterson was, I think.
I tell you what, that year, he was the best coach in college.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? He just threw caution to the wind and said, you know what, we're going to run it
Oh
because
yeah, he
before that
had
hook and ladder,
fun.
I thought the game was over.
That's what the game's all about, is to have fun and try to pull off those crazy plays, man.
That was just maybe the most magnificent end-to-end
Oh.
football game I've ever seen.
And I got to tell you,
Mhm.
nobody in the world who watched that game
Gave him a
thought
chance.
that quarterback did not throw that ball.
Yeah.
That 2-point conversion.
Oh right,
I mean,
right, yeah, for
everybody-
sure.
Everybody's looking, the
Faked
cameras are
it,
going that way.
and I called my dad right after that happened, and he said, "Did you see that?" I said, "I'm right here in the stadium."
Oh man, now that I'm envious of. That
That hook
was.
and ladder, and it made that was.
Oh, they had some happy fans, boy, and some. I mean, if you get beat on a play like that, you're
What are you
like,
gonna do?
yeah. I mean, you
What
got to
can you
hand
do?
it to the other team, That's
And
awesome.
I think Peterson, he retired. I don't think he's coaching anymore.
Yeah, I think he's out.
I think he just retired a year ago, or maybe even this year. I think he's still working for
Probably.
University of Washington, but
His
Mhm.
personal services
Yeah.
he was morphed into after he retired. But that and college-wise, that game and the fourth quarter of Vince Young's
Oh,
game against
When they-
USC in the Rose Bowl, where that I have never in my life seen a single player take over a game of football like that kid did in the last 11 minutes of that game.
and you knew he was going to run it.
And you knew it. And
no
you
one
couldn't
ever within
stop
10
it.
yards of him.
No.
Yeah.
It's like you knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You know?
It couldn't stop
He
him.
got to that corner of that end zone, and it was like, where is everybody?
That's
You knew he was
amazing
gonna run.
that he just put it on his back.
And his
did it.
legs were about that thin.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't, I mean, he was a
He
tall
wasn't,
guy, but
yeah,
he
he wasn't
real
a
heavy.
you know, Earl Campbell or
Yeah.
anything like that.
And the guy blew $32 million.
I know. I was
You know, and
so.
all these hanger-ons and
Sure.
Oh yeah, it's whole entourage. You know.
Yep. But he probably had a lot of fun doing it.
yeah.
I,
These are those years.
I hope he did. Shoot.
He probably got
If
your
he
money's
did
worth.
that, I hope he did.
You can be a cautionary tale for the rest of your life. Yeah, but
Jalen was talking, his agent had him talk to a financial planner,
yeah.
and the guy goes, okay, Jalen, so when I know that when you sign this big contract, you're gonna buy a new car. He goes, no, I'm not. And he goes, oh, sure you are. He goes, I already have a car. You know, and I guess about 30 minutes into the meeting, financial planner looks at Jalen and goes,
What do you need me
Jalen,
for?
well, why am I here?
Uh-huh.
And he, right to his face, he goes, sir, I don't know. Jalen, Walker, and Marvin
Yeah.
are going to be frugal. You're not going to have to worry about Monday waking up
Oh no.
and looking at the paper and seeing something stupid. They're going to come back to Episcopal as many times as they can. I mean, Jalen was just here April 5th, did a piece for ESPN.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
And they're good kids all.
they're better kids than their
Just
football players. That's what I tell people.
spectacular.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sweet, unassuming. Get them on a football field, they're animals. They're animals.
They want to win, man.
And they got Jalen going anywhere from 6 to 16.
Yeah.
And Mel Kiper, 2 weeks ago, Walker had such a good pro day and great interview. He had going 31 in Kansas City. I don't think that's going to happen.
Wow.
But that was
that's
one of
awful
the.
high.
Oh, Kansas City is in a lot of trouble right
They
now.
need a lot of linemen.
They do.
I think Marvin. They're talking Marvin going in the third day. I hope he goes in the second.
Yeah,
day,
he
but
might go at third round, late-ish.
That's
back in
the
the
last
second
one I
day.
have. I saw Walker going like at 168 and Marvin going like at 192.
Wow,
You know?
that's really late for the one
Both of them, I know.
Yeah.
Whoever gets those, if they get them that late, they're going to get a steal, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're both good players.
I mean, I keep sort of crossing my fingers that Walker might end up falling around where Dallas might take a shot on him, and that would make me one of the happiest humans on the face of the earth, man,
Well,
to see that kid in a cowboy uniform.
I got to tell you, he interviewed with the Bears. My
Sorry.
team.
Yeah. We're all out here sending everybody we know with the organization's information. Like, dude,
They might go to the Saints.
This is a good
Yeah,
kid.
his agent Walker and Jalen have the same agent.
Oh, do they?
They don't have a lot. He doesn't have a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he's a quality guy.
Good. That's what you want.
Yeah. Jalen's mom was at his room before they went to the national championship game, and she looked on his dresser and goes, "Jalen, why didn't you cash these checks that you worked for this summer?" He goes, "Well, they're good forever, right?" Mom goes, "No, there's an expiration date on some of these checks."
Like 90 or
And that's the
180
kind of
days.
guy he is. It's just
Yeah.
like, I get it to eventually.
I'm good.
So,
Uh-huh.
That's actually why he needs a financial planner.
Yes,
to
he
stay on
does.
top of the other stuff.
Yeah, right. Who does he work? Who did he work for?
so it's one of those things where.
Oh man, that was a big strike too, right there.
More of that.
He was he had a little part-time job or something.
In the
Or?
summer in Alabama, because they
Oh,
gotta
okay.
take their classes, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's graduating now.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
about
all three will have their diplomas, which is unbelievable. And Walker said that he wants to go into medicine after he's out of football, which, Walker, exactly.
Yeah. If he wants to do it, he'll do it.
Yeah. Really unassuming guys to give him the field, and you don't want to mess with them.
Oh,
But you're right, I saw that too with Walker in Dallas, I saw that. I also saw one where the Texans too.
Yeah.
So, with this draft, you just never know.
No, and you know, everybody just keeps churning stuff out, and so they just kind of shuffle it up.
Yeah.
They grab their Magic 8 Ball and the Ouija board and throw stuff
Oh,
around.
yeah.
I mean, they're saying Jalen's the second or third best player in the nation, and they got him going, some people, as low as 16. But you know, it's your need, whatever you need.
Sure.
Mm.
And it's just hard to
it's-
turn away a guy that could, you know, change a game.
It's the value proposition that
Yeah.
you have to attach to. Whoa.
That was
Okay.
a good one.
To
They're probably going
you
to
know,
call that.
offensive tackles and quarterbacks and edge rushers, and you know,
Yeah,
you can get a lot of
exactly.
wide receivers.
Yes,
But
there's a lot in the draft too.
These
You're
are yeah, that was less than a mile off.
right. So did you grow up in Dallas?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Cut my teeth on the Staubach Cowboys. And my other team,
Well,
of course.
Starbuck back then, they were just such a classy.
Yeah.
You know, every time you see them at the line, they would pop up and go back down. I mean, that's old school. But I got to tell you, you didn't want to play Dallas now because they were physical.
Yep.
They were like Detroit and Chicago. You know, when you had finished playing them, you knew you were in a football game.
They hit you.
And of course, Landry was just a classy guy.
Yeah. My my dad doing business in Dallas, of course, so we went to some of the FCA things that both Landry and Staubach were really big on.
Oh,
So
but those were pretty
had
impressive.
a chance to, shake both of their hands at one point when I was a kid. But
Man, that's something you'll never forget.
no,
Mm.
no, man, those are great guys.
So was Tommy Lee there when you were there at St. Mark's?
No, he's a good bit older than I am.
Okay.
He graduated college in '69.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay,
I was
okay.
born in '68. So
I didn't think it was that. Okay.
yeah. So, but you still hear the stories.
I got to tell you, that campus. Oh,
Yeah, they've done a bit to it. It's not got out.
did you see the pictures 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That tornado.
Yeah.
Thank God it happened on a Sunday because
Yeah.
I mean you could see right through the cafeteria. Was it the cafeteria or the gym?
It's a gym. It's the older gym.
I mean, 2 walls, and then you saw right through it.
Yep.
Oh my God, that was
That is not the first tornado that's hit that campus.
really.
We had one take out our tennis courts.
Okay.
When I was like a second or third grader, and I remember they had to walk us out of the rickety old lower school building. They put us under the stands because they had the big tunnels and stuff under there, solid concrete and steel over you.
Well, we had SPC that spring,
Yeah.
and all those beautiful trees at those houses on the side were all gone. I mean, you could see all the homes.
But man, I remember you could hear the thing coming over campus, and it just touched down right on that back corner where the courts were and tore that up. But
I'll tell you what, their
Missed the
cafeteria
rest of us.
with that big fireplace with the lions. Oh God, that is so impressive. It's just a nice place. The head of school, I know him really well. He's a good guy. It's just a good place. It's fun to go to St. Mark's. The only downside I would say at that whole school, facility-wise, is a baseball field.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
probably.
you're landlocked. What can you do? It's like us. We're landlocked. You know, nothing we can do about it.
You guys had a good master plan, though.
Yeah, we
A lot better than St. John's.
we did a pretty good. Well, you know, the family that sold them all that property
Mm-hmm.
did not give them a deal, and they were a St. John's family.
Oh.
So they paid a premium price.
Oh, I bet
So-
they did.
So you know, it's
Is that not the most St. John's thing to do ever? though?
exactly. Oh, you want this? Sure.
Oh, yeah, big time.
It'll cost you about 60, 70 million.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, it was not cheap. It was.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't cheap.
Compare that to the acreage Hockaday sitting on a 99-year lease for $1.
I got to tell you, Hockaday. Everybody in the SPC is just, you know, we're all jealous. I mean, they have so much property, and it's pretty property.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
So, is there,
Where is this?
Is it from a family?
Yeah, basically it's the Hockaday School in Dallas. It's the big SPC girls' school up there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact story, but they set it up on this ridiculous, like 99 year, I think it's as long as you can actually do a lease legally in Texas, and basically just gave it to you.
When is the lease run up? Do you know?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember when they got all that.
You hope they will.
all that
Families
money.
aren't
I think
assholes.
they got a while.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
by then they'll have so much endowment, it won't be an issue to buy what they want. And,
I
you know,
mean, they could build forever.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they're not. I don't know why they're not building any new buildings. Because it's an old school.
a little bit. I mean, they did a bunch of upgrades tail end of when Tosh and I were there, between the late 90s and early 2000s. And I just, you know, I don't know that they've pushed that hard for, they've done some renovations, like they went through the older classroom wings and,
But it was all,
and basically did like a two,
upgrade.
they did like a 2-for-3 room swap, so that they got, you know, bigger classrooms, but
With
fewer
all that
rooms.
property, you
Yeah.
could build
They could.
Taj Mahal, and their endowment's got to be pretty substantial.
It's up there. They are. I have heard though that they're going to discontinue boarding. I think the COVID has basically put a stake into their boarding
What was their
department, which
percent
makes
of
me sad.
students were boarding?
It varied, but it could be upwards. At peak, I think they had 100 girls. They ran usually 60 or 70, which would have been
And the amount of money they paid
10 to
for that?
15% of the upper school. So, oh yeah, that was.
Were they
That was money.
from one country, or were they just spread around?
It was a mix of stuff. When I was there, we had like the rural landed gentry girls come, you know. So from places in the Panhandle or East Texas.
Oh, so
they wanted
mostly within the states.
Some of it.
Okay.
Right? So that was one group. You had a group whose parents were overseas doing oil business usually or something equivalent. But they wanted to stay, keep them in town. And who could blame them? Are you going to take your girl to Saudi Arabia in 1985?
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, no matter how safe
I would think the
Aramco
Saudis
says
would
it
have
is.
a number of.
Yep.
Sure.
And we started seeing a big rise in
Middle East.
Asian kids
Yeah,
and
Middle
Middle
Asian,
Asian
yeah.
kids.
I could see that too.
Coming in and boarding. So they.
Because that's some pretty damn good money.
He just packed it all up.
He grabbed the case that the kid
He
didn't bring in. The kid just wrapped it up in the
he
sweatshirt.
wrapped it up in a jacket, I think, huh?
Did you read about that lawsuit at ESD about 7-8 years ago?
I vaguely remember this, but I don't
$10
remember.
million that scored the solar for the teacher was having an affair with the student.
Yeah, that's what I came.
Went to the student's house,
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
and the school knew about it, and their insurance company, they got him $10 million, and it
Yeah.
was,
If the school knew about it, hell yeah.
well, again, they knew about it, but you know what? When you have a good lawyer, school doesn't know about it.
Yeah. No,
But there was too much evidence to prove otherwise.
Right. Do you have, I was gonna holler at him and see if this is still happening.
I just got a text, and
yeah.
they're still good. But
Oh.
I don't know how much longer they're gonna go, because you get it about 5 after 7, they gotta wait 35.
Yeah, Grove just texted me and said we might be okay if we can hang on for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah. As I
So
said, it
that's
looked like
about
it
it.
was,
Okay, waiting. I figured that was waiting.
it looked like the heavy stuff was getting through us.
Yeah. Question is just how
gonna be
much.
a mess.
Yeah, but it looked like cells were
To reset.
forming behind it, you know?
It's gonna be a little bit of a mess up there.
Yeah, because it had been prolonged for a day. This whole storm was supposed to be here pretty much at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
That front stalled out.
Yeah. Yeah, Hockaday was an interesting place to work, I gotta tell you.
Riding daisies.
Huh. I was there when they came up with the, when they started doing the daisies with fangs and all the other stuff.
So that's always
Yeah.
been the mascot.
Yeah, the mascot's always been the daisy.
Okay.
They
With fangs.
everybody called them Hockadaisies. But they started
Hockadaisies.
doing, like murderous daisies and vampire daisies and stuff in the early 90s. And it was hysterical. It was one of my all-time favorite jokes from school mascots. But now the best one, of course, was when I was working at Emory Wiener, in the early 2000s. And I put a science Olympiad team together for their 8th grade. And we actually made, like, we were able to get to the regionals and go to state. And so we made t-shirts. We did yellow t-shirts with a with a big giant dachshund on them. So we were the Emery Wiener dogs. We
You know what? In a competition like that, you have to.
With a bunch
You have to.
A bunch of dorky Jewish kids.
You
we
have to.
We went to Tarleton.
Tarleton?
I took them to Tarleton, right? So
They were probably like, hey, there's no street lights here.
What the hell is this? And we stopped in West on the way up, I guess, or somewhere right around there. And just to go into a convenience store, stretch their legs, grab a drink, whatever. And one of my kids gets out and looks around and goes, so this is what rednecks look like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, kid, shut up.
Well, I tell you what,
Seriously.
that area, that's a different culture. Yes,
is.
it is, yes.
But they had a great time, and they actually have a pretty nifty little engineering program going up at that school. And I was able to funnel on a couple of kids from when I was teaching at Sci-Fair up that direction. They were able to get them some money to go to school, and worked out really nicely. But
Emery Wiener, that was a good place.
yeah, when it was really good, the middle school was really good when Alona Thompson was still running it, and she came down with MS, and it kind of went down a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Stewart's, but
What's the population of the school now?
let's see. I think they're still going 6 to 12, and I want to say it's maybe 300 all in, 250,
It's not too bad.
somewhere in that range.
Well, just like St. Francis, we try to tell Laird that your ego's getting away in front of you. You can't start a school with 20 kids.
Yeah.
Because she kept saying, and people were coming and talking to me, and I go, well, dude, she's saying you're going to be the first one. I go, first one of what? First one to graduate? But from freshman to senior year, athletics, fine arts, tell me how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? And to this day, I think they're only at like 50 or 60. When we started 163. Freshman, sophomore class, and then second year, we had, 3 classes, so we could do almost everything.
Yeah.
But I just feel bad for them. To pay that kind of money, and should have waited. That's why she's no longer there.
There you go. Yeah, Tasha and I have often joked that if we win the lottery, we're going to build us a good private school out there in the Northwest Territory. And,
Out here.
out in Cyprus. There's a market for it.
Do they have any private schools out there? Other than
Uh,
Fort Bend Christian, but that's not really in that area.
no, I mean, Houston Christian's about as close as you can get. There's like there's Cyprus Christian school. They're all denominational and less academic than they are,
There's one
religious.
south of there, St. John. Is it St. John's?
They're right over here.
Oh,
No,
it's now
St. John's,
St. John
the-
the 23rd.
Yeah, the 23rd.
Yeah,
But that's south. That's more
Yeah, that's
towards
Katy.
I-10, Katy.
yep, they're just north of
Yeah, I
town.
think Houston Christian's having a tough time with attendance too. Enrollment. St. Thomas was, and there was talk, they won't admit it, but there was talk about the St. Thomas going away because their enrollment was, they won't admit that to you, but
Wow.
They talked about what?
St. Thomas going
going
co-ed?
co-ed.
Oh,
I mean, it was just talking in the wind, but
At one point?
they won't admit to it. This was
Oh.
a few years ago because
Mhm.
one year they went down real low, and
Oh,
Houston
really?
Christian was about 30-40% below their need for freshmen.
Mhm.
So they're still trying to work their way back up.
I got you.
And we're probably going to have another 200+ freshman class. We only have, let's see, I think I just looked at it. We only have 5 transfers because we have no.
Wow.
Kind of a nice problem to have.
Yeah, it ain't terrible.
No. And if we wanted to, we could have 800 full pays. I'm so glad that and we're keeping to our Dr. Borg, 20% or rather 10% of our operating expenses goes to financial aid.
it matters. And I mean, you know, it's a good way to get diversity. It's a good way to get kids in that bring stuff to the school that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Absolutely.
So it definitely matters. But yeah, it can be tough these days, on and off. But y'all are established enough, that, you know.
Just gotta be careful we don't go over the 800 mark, because that's when we start losing our individual attention.
Sure. Agreed. And
I'm sure Tasha would like to know a lot more students, but you know, when you have 100 or so, and you it's tough, all the classes you teach, and then you don't have that time other than come to games and stuff like that.
Yeah. She misses a little bit teaching the younger kids, where she, you know, get to know a lot of them much earlier on and be able to follow them up.
Exactly.
But by the same token, she also doesn't really miss teaching the young ones.
No.
If you take my meaning.
Yeah.
So, you know, working with juniors
it can be
and
very
seniors.
trying, yes. Especially the freshman, even sophomore age. You know, too many things come into play.
It can get rough, but you know, y'all are in such a nice position, offering that balanced educational opportunity where you can dip your toes into anything you want to, and branch out as much as you want, or deep dive into whatever pillar you like. It just
you're not locked into anything. And, you know, and if you've got the if you've got the confidence to try something new, or even create something, you've got the drive, you know, you can do it.
And Braden's taken advantage of all sorts of things the last couple of years to try out stuff, and you know, go be a theater kid. You know, he's done band. He's been doing athletics, but he went and did a play or two.
Well, that's what I try to tell these kids, and also tell the parents. The worst thing we can say if they try out is no. That's not a bad thing. Okay? I try to tell them, when you fail, next time, fail better. So, I wouldn't call it failing, but I mean, the point is, you know what? Just because we say no, okay, you just move on. You gave it a shot. I know people don't like to hear it. It's kind of cheesy, but, you know, trying is 75% of the battle.
Yeah.
Just putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I joke with my kids and tell them, you know, 80% of success in life is showing up.
That's exactly it.
Just get there, right?
Yeah.
Put yourself in the position, and then the other 20% is up to you.
Yeah.
But, you know, that makes it manageable.
Well, and that's you're exactly right. Just showing up and giving yourself the opportunity. Because if you don't show up, nothing's there for you.
That is, I gotta say, that is the one thing that's really cool about where I teach, is because I literally had an opportunity to teach some of those kids for like 6 out of 7 consecutive years. So I catch them as like 6th graders, miss them 7th, and then get them 8th all the way through graduation. And man,
To watch them grow, that's kind of neat.
And you know, to have some of them who came in with just, you know, huge crutches by way of accommodations and things that I was able, because I had them every year, I was able to wean them a little bit every year and turn them into, you know, solid, self-capable students.
Oh, that's definitely rewarding.
You know, oh my God.
Yeah.
I got an email from one of my irregulars. I joke about them. I tend to attract a lot of square peg kids in round hole schools. And
but aren't those the fun ones?
all the time,
I'm telling
man.
you.
Those are the best. But you know, she kind of limped her way through, and she didn't get along with most of the faculty. And I kept telling them, look, this is a good kid. You're just not dealing with her right.
Yeah.
But I got her through her 4 years of high school, and she sent me an email back in the fall and said, yeah, you know, I'm on the dean's list. I'm about to. Yeah, I've gotten picked to do this really cool seminar class where they're bringing in people from various governmental organizations to talk to us, and there are only like 20 kids in it, and I'm one of them. And she's at where is she? She's at Boulder.
Okay.
And just thriving, you know. And I'm like, thank God, I knew you had it in you.
Exactly.
We just needed to get you into the right place, and you were going to be okay. And, you know, it's like.
That's cool.
No same person
I don't want to
teaches for money.
stereotype, but I do think that when I hear people say, well, you know what, they're just not into what we're doing. To me, this tells me you don't want to put in.
Yeah, you
know,
gotta find the right hook.
You know, you gotta. I can't tell you how many times when I was a dean of students and Audrey Keller would say, John, we can't take this kid. And I went, Audrey, it's not all about paperwork. There's something about this kid when I'm reading. There's something about him that, you know what? I'll take a chance on it, and if he screws up, then it's on me.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta take a chance on these kids. You just can't say, okay, they can't all just be, you know, what's on paper.
No.
There's more to these kids than what's on paper. So that's
Yeah.
fun teaching.
Yeah, I remember I had one kid when I was at the Sci Fair who was a smart young lady, but had gotten in with gangs early. And by the time I got her as a senior in physics, she'd been kind of out of it, but, you know, that's a lot of
But
deprogramming.
still, in
right?
physics.
Yeah, she was
Yes.
taking my physics class. And she had a temper. Holy Jesus. It's the only kid who's ever cussed me out for anything. And she did it up one side and down the other. Right? Got herself suspended for a couple of days for it. And it was really funny when she came back. And she kept looking at me like funny, like I was going to do something to her. And she hung around. She was the last kid out of the room. Was just kind of lingering. And I said, glad you're back. Good to see you. Catch you tomorrow. And she was like, so totally not what she expected.
That's not what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be
And-
elevated.
No, and from that point, I had her,
Yeah.
right? Until the very end of the year, she got sick. I mean, legitimately missing a week of school, kind of sick. Right before exams. And so she actually missed, I think, one of her early exams and was going to try to make it up.
Yeah.
But the school policy was you don't let a kid out of exams ever for anything during that 2 hours.
Okay.
She finished my physics exam in an hour. Senior grades were due 2 hours out from there. I mean, we literally had to have them in an hour after that exam finished. And you can imagine the stampedes for the Scantron machines. But she's like, yeah, if I'm going to graduate on time, I got to go take this exam. And I'm like, all right. So I wrote her a note and I sent her out. And she got snagged by my department chair, who read the note and let her go. Kid passed her exam, kid graduated, kid went to college. DC found me the next day in the middle of the main drag down the center of the building and chewed me out for letting her out. And I said, okay, I'll take that lump. And she said, but and I said, look, I said, I understand the meaning of that rule. I understand what it's intended to do. And it was in no way, excuse me.
No, I think it's the spirit of the rule. It's like the spirit of the game. You know, you got to go with the flow.
You know, given the, good Lord, where'd my voice go?
That's just.
But given the choice between that kid graduating and going to college
Yeah.
and breaking a trivial, overly broad rule, I'm breaking that rule out of 100 every time.
You know what? that's just kind of a sad situation where, you know, people don't see, you know, what's best for these kids. And sometimes you just got to say, you know, what the fuck, let it go. Let it go.
Right. And you know, I'm a big boy. I'll take getting chewed out every once in a while, as long as it's for the right reason.
I've taken several beatings.
Yeah. It's just
I've been
part of the
sued
game.
once.
Well, that's impressive. You're one up on me, thank God.
There was two brothers that I called them in and I told the parents, I told the mom, the next time we have a conversation, I'm going to ask where to send the transcripts. Well, these two nuts skipped school and went to Matagorda. And I called the mom in and she's in tears and I just said one word, one sentence. Where do I send the transcripts? This was in December. In April, Dr. Borg and I were deposed. I think this was 1993 or 4.
Jeez.
Our lawyers said, don't worry, you guys have all the paperwork, you're fine. We were never deposed. We were just served.
Right.
The dad, who was a high-profile attorney here,
Of course.
who was later disbarred, said, Dean, how come you expelled my kids in April when school ends in May? I went, I expelled them in December. Your wife never told you? Wife never told the dad.
Oh, don't you love private schools?
And during this whole
And
time,
divorces.
their daughter was applying.
Yeah.
Father came to me and goes, John, what do you want to do? I went, I'm not going to punish her for the sins of her brothers.
Yeah.
So we accepted her. She only stayed 2 years, left on her own accord. But to this day, I'll see them at alumni like weddings and shit. They give me the stink eye. I'm like, I don't, you know what? I didn't wake up in the morning and say, hey, how can I screw your family today?
Yeah.
When A happens, B has to happen.
Yeah, those were the days. That gets harder and harder to do every year, I tell you.
But I
But
don't see,
people try.
you know, I don't see the private schools being as litigious as the public schools, because I think the private school parents know that, you know, we've got good attorneys too.
Yeah.
So, and we also know, as you know, we know the secrets. You know, like, so, do you really want to open up that can of worms? Because once you go there, discovery can be a nasty situation.
Yeah, oh gosh. My dad was executive VP and CFO at Southwest in the late 70s, and then went to try to turn Braniff around after Harding Lawrence ran into the ground.
I remember Braniff, yeah.
But, hey, I heard from Jason about 20 minutes ago they were going to see if they could get through the next half hour and see where we were, but it keeps thundering and bumbling out there, so I don't know where we are now. I'm beginning to think we're probably hosed, but we'll see. Depends on how bad maybe the Lang Creek kids are going to want to play. You know, their folks, they just say, screw it, we need to get home. So, I don't know. I don't know all the factors in play, but last I heard from Jason was right about 20 minutes ago, and they were trying to get to, 10 till 8 and see if we were resetting or not. So, sorry, I don't have better news. They've run out a couple of times, and they grabbed the scoreboard equipment from the stand across the way, and I haven't seen hide nor hair of the officials. So, yeah, I don't know how long we'll hold at this point. I mean, if it gets to 8 and we're not playing, I think we're probably done. If I had to guess. So. Yeah, I hear you. Right. Yeah. Just hopefully we'll have a little more advisement here in the next 10 or 15 minutes, one way or the other. I know they want to try to make it go if they can, but if they can't, it is what it is. All right. Sorry. Love you too. Will do. Bye.
Gosh, so we left Southwest to go to Braniff.
Big money, big opportunity.
Okay.
Right. And well, it was he and Howard Putnam both. Right. Putnam was running Southwest, and then brought in, tried to turn them around, and then they were there all the way through the bankruptcy, which was interesting.
Didn't Southwest eventually swallow up Braniff?
No.
Okay, I thought they
Braniff still exists in weird little pockets of places. I go every once in a while and check out the Wikipedia page for it and see who's got the rights. And the funniest thing is that the production company for Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the guys that do South Park,
right.
uses a Braniff plane at the end of their credits.
I mean, we flew Braniff on my spring break at my last senior in college in '79.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
That was about when he went there, I think. But so obviously they saw attorneys up one side and down the other. That was one of the first real substantial Chapter 11 reorgs, and get the thing back out of bankruptcy, and actually got it flying again for a while. But by that point, both.
Where did he go after that?
He and Putnam struck out on their own and did some leveraged buyouts, and kind of ran a little boutique company doing some acquisitions here and there. And he's kind of bounced around and just done all sorts of things since. He's never been a stay one place too long kind of guy.
So Dad's still with us?
Yeah, yeah. He's still actually working. He's not fully
Really?
retired yet. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, a lot of it's like, you know, he does some consulting, but
Yeah.
2-3 years ago, he was still doing quarterly trips to Indonesia, doing some consulting there.
Oh,
He'd
wow.
stay a week, 10 days, and come back.
And is he in Texas?
Yep, they retired, sort of semi-retired, I guess, whatever, to a little lakefront community just northwest of Tyler.
Oh, but that's pretty.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's a nice house. It's a good, this is a Shishi retirement place.
There we go.
There are actually some St. Mark's folks and, you know, North Dallas folk. They've gone out there as well. It's what is the name of the place? It's Hideaway Lake. Hideaway Lake. And so that's pretty interesting. But you know, you talk about attorneys. My dad used to say that they're like thermonuclear weapons. No one really wants to have them, but if you need them, there is no substitute.
Yeah.
So, and he's worked with some flesh-eating ones at points.
My son was on the moot court team in South Texas. He loved to litigate.
Yeah.
He got awards for it.
Nice.
And then he interns for this firm that all they do is tort law. There's no litigation.
Yeah.
It's all research, and he's eating it up. I mean, right now he's on
Really?
Roundup. He just loves it.
Okay.
So,
Hey, yeah, it's always good to find what you like.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought at points in the past of going and sitting my LSATs and going back to law school. At times I wish I'd done it, man. Looking at the Trump administration, I almost wish I'd done it, because I'd have ended up in something more, you know, civilly focused, I suspect. You know, rights-based. Representing the downtrodden, because that's kind of the way I roll. But still just moving it.
Yeah, but you're right. You know, everybody hates lawyers till you need one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, and then they're indispensable.
He told my son that. I said, okay, son, you know, some people aren't going to like you. Mom and Dad love you. Some aren't going to like you.
Yeah, you make some friends and you make a lot of enemies.
Yeah. Well, he's not like Dad. He doesn't have an Italian temper like me. You know, he can talk people off a ledge.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
and in a way where he's saying it's so sweet that when you walk away, you're like, you just tell me to F off.
Very, very politely.
Yeah, he knows how to do
But
that.
yes, he did.
Yes. And he's not elitist. He doesn't like stupid.
Yes.
He you know, he always says, Dad, okay, so when you know, if I take a girl out and we just start talking, and she asked me where I went to school and college, and when I tell her, and if she says, oh, is that the one in Chicago? He goes, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, not Lake Forest, Lake Forest. You know, so son, not everybody knows, okay, those schools, so you really can't use that as your benchmark, but, you know, it is what it is.
And you know what? I mean, this is a topic of dinner conversation in the Guthrie household, because we don't have any dummies in that place. And none of us will put up with people, no matter how physically attractive or interested they might be, if they can't keep up their end of a conversation,
tough.
man,
I'm telling you, it's tough.
we're just not going to do it very long.
Yeah.
You know? You shouldn't have to.
And I find all my buddies up north, maybe just a few went to college, and you know, I hate to say this, but love them to death. But you know, when they start talking, you know, grammatically the words just don't come together, and I look at them like, did you really just say that? Okay,
Yeah.
really?
You know, you almost, there are times I just want to paraphrase the line from the, oh gosh, what is it? It's not Chris Rock, it's the other like, now you understand the words that come out of my mouth?
Yeah, exactly.
But you
exactly.
change it, so do you understand the words that are coming out of your mouth?
Yeah,
Right? That's what I want.
exactly, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, folks. And it gets harder every year. And I listen to my dad tell me about, B school graduates who basically he has to vet every email they want to send before they send it, because otherwise it's going out with multiple grammar mistakes, some of which may actually affect the deal.
Exactly.
And he's like, God, I just can't do this anymore. They don't teach him how to write.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. Well, everything's an acronym now. Like, no,
Yeah.
you can't talk to business people like that.
Mhm.
Okay? You take a few extra seconds and write the word out. Yeah, yeah.
That's, oh,
I know. Yeah, I always got a kick out of when he said that. I said, well, son, again, it's your life, but I understand where you're coming from. You want to have a conversation.
You gotta,
And I'm sure, like Tashla, my wife, she knows athletics too. She knows football. She knows hockey. So when she starts a conversation, or we're having a conversation with my boys up north, Dean pipes in. It's like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. Let her go. Let her go.
yeah, watch out now.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, it's funny.
Oh, empty nesters next year. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You guys got to start talking again.
Well, we do plenty of that. Trust me, there's lots of car rides to talk on. But if she's not sleeping, which happens a lot in the mornings. But we still have Peggy with us, so that's getting to be having an extra kid a little bit. And she's 82 now, and it's getting less
And is that
physically. Tashla's mom.
Okay.
And we just got a dog, so there you go.
Chloe, right?
Huh?
Chloe?
Fuse.
No, Fuse,
Fuse
okay.
is her name.
Because was it Braden's? Maybe it wasn't Braden's. Somebody for the style show had during COVID, favorite COVID memory, they got a dog.
Oh,
So-
yeah, no, we just got her like a couple of weeks
Okay,
ago.
okay.
Little shelter puppy.
Okay.
And she's a doll that, trying to unravel the house around a 4-month-old dog who isn't fully housebroken.
Is it going to be a big one or a small one or medium?
She looks to be a terrier, maybe lab kind of blend.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
That's
mid-size.
a medium-sized dog, yeah.
Let's see, she was at the vet last week and it was like 21, 22 pounds.
That'd be a good size. That's
So
a nice size
40,
dog.
40 pounds, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
in that range.
Good.
And she's cute as a button, just jet black and sneaky, but she's got white blazes down her chest and has little white toes on her back feet. And pretty smart so far. She figures out things relatively quickly.
She knows outdoors is for outdoor.
Mostly. We had a little bit of trouble with that earlier because
Right.
the house we bought, the prior owners had 2 Great Danes and a big shepherd.
So she.
So there's smells around.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully it's all tile downstairs,
Oh, good.
which is mostly where she
Easy to
is.
clean up, yes.
Yeah, tile's fairly straight. So,
Now, did you guys move closer?
by about a mile. We're still in
How
Bridgeland.
long is the drive?
To here, I mean, pre-COVID, it could be 50 minutes to an hour.
That was mine.
Deep COVID was,
I'm getting here
30,
25 minutes from Lake
35
City.
minutes.
I mean, yeah. I'm going 80 miles an hour on 45 and 610.
It's 35, 40 minutes most
Yeah,
mornings to
mine's
here.
starting to back up a bit.
Yeah, it is picking up a little more, but it's really nice they finally cleaned up some of those interchanges among 290, 610, and I-10, where we can take the HOV in and we don't have to go through the transit center anymore. You can just dive off, and there's a quick little connector, and then
That's
it dumps
nice.
you right onto 610.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's fantastic. That cut like 10 minutes off right there, just because you have to mess around with the transit center and then the side roads to finally get
Stop
to
and
it.
stop and start track. Yeah.
All that construction along 610 through the Galleria, there's just not a place you can get on or off.
Yeah, they widened out to 6 lanes by Lake City, and once I get off the 6 down to 45, it's only 3 to 4 lanes, but a couple miles down, I mean, we just shoot up. So yeah.
Ain't bad.
People ask me why I wanted to move closer. I said, well, because I got the same size house here in Lake City for a third of the price.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yep. That and my kids get tired, I think, of hearing me tell stories about our critters, but that was one of the things we took up was bird feeding, bird watching during the pandemic. So we put a backyard feeder out and attracted bunches of different interesting ones to watch. And then started attracting possums and raccoons. So I got one of those little game cameras and put it
Okay,
out and we
yeah,
could watch.
yeah.
And at points we had like half a dozen raccoons back
Oh,
there
gosh.
running all over the place. And they were eating us out of bird seed. So we figured raccoons are pretty smart. So we started putting out a pan of cat food at night for them. And so they'd come in and they stopped all coming at once. They actually developed a schedule throughout the evening so different folks would come in. But one of the younger ones, I mean, literally not a month or so ago, right before we moved, I was out grilling some pork chops, and I feel this little nudge on my ankle, and I turn around, and there's a raccoon. Yeah. He come up and booped me with his nose, like, hey, where's mine? And then he backed off a couple of steps and just sat down and was waiting patiently to be fed.
Oh my goodness, oh my.
And he was like, whoa, yeah, okay, we'll go get you some food.
See, my wife,
It was adorable.
she loves birds, so we've got a number of bird feeders outside, and the squirrels come when the birds
Yeah.
come, and we've seen a couple of possums. It's funny because you know you think, okay, possums really don't do that stuff. When you go out there, they do. They freeze and we'll come back an hour later, and it's still the same spot.
Yeah, yeah.
We've not
sometimes they
seen
do.
raccoons, but we've seen a lot of possums and a bunch of squirrels.
I like watching the possums. They're really interesting critters. They're very laid back,
Yeah.
but they get along very well with everybody.
Well, they don't come close to our door. They kind of stay on the perimeter of the fence.
Right. Yeah, they like to walk around.
But when you catch them out there, it's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you're right. The birds and the colors that come in, the cardinals and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Cardinals, blue jays. We have lots of house finches and purple finches and.
Now, up north, we have a lot of hummingbirds.
Yeah.
So,
You can get them down here too, but they're mostly migratory, so you
Yeah,
catch them
yeah.
fall and spring on their way in and out. But there are some here year round. But yeah, those are fantastic to watch until you attract too many of them. They do nothing but chase each other off the feeders
Yeah.
and starve each other to death. So
They do that, and like I said, the squirrels, if the birds beat the squirrels to the feeder, the squirrels stay away. They don't bother the birds.
Yeah,
But if the squirrels are there first, it's a free-for-all.
Our section of Bridgeland that we were in the last couple of years is relatively newer, and so it doesn't have quite the same developed oaks and larger trees that the squirrels like. So we really didn't have squirrels at all.
Okay.
So I didn't have to worry about protecting from squirrels. But where we've moved to now is one of the older neighborhoods in the area.
Well, we got a few of them.
There are squirrels around,
Yeah.
so I haven't put the feeders up yet. I may have to invest in some squirrel protection, but not that really works. Usually, the best bet is just to bribe them and put one of those little picnic bench corn feeders out on
Yes.
the fence and just get some
My
pictures.
neighbor has a outdoor kitchen,
Oh yeah.
and he's not the cleanest person.
Uh-oh.
And so, we'll see rats every now and then. And my wife and I, we can't put rat poison out because
No. You get
we don't want the possum or the squirrels to be eating that. So, you just gotta take the good with the bad.
But, that's, Tasha and I would have there's a ball. I just threw one out. We had that discussion once or twice a year and a half for a long time, is do we want to move closer? And the answer is always no. Because, we have smooth streets. I can feel the stress drop off of me, okay? I mean, you'd think it's crazy, but actually during the pandemic and doing a lot of the things we've been doing, I've actually gotten off of blood pressure meds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big part of it because I can get back out there and I can relax and I can watch the lakes and,
Yep.
we have every waterfowl known to man in this area out there, from, egrets and herons to ducks and Egyptian geese and, we've got about 6 or 7 different released flavors of ducks that I've seen. And, everybody's setting up families and, it's duckling season. It's just, it's just fantastic,
Yeah, this
it's
COVID
good for
thing-
the soul.
Yeah, this COVID thing, I think really, my wife was very pleased with the outcome as far as, she said, you know what, John, this is what's going to be like when we retire.
Yeah.
And you know what? We actually enjoy each other.
This is good.
We're having fun together. So a curse and a blessing, but yeah.
I will be happy to see all the kids go to college.
Oh,
go back to school, right, on campus. And that will be good because
These sophomores, freshmen, sophomores to be, I'm gonna have to have a special chapter with them and the freshmen and tell them, you know what? You guys haven't been to a football game. It's an experience. With the dressing up and the gong squad.
Uh-huh.
I've got the gong still in the box in my office
I
this
know.
year.
I know. How bizarre is that?
you know, that's a big part of our spirit.
Yeah. No,
They start to roll out.
I haven't seen anybody yet. Yeah, lots of experiences they're going to get to have a little bit later than they normally would, but
Yeah.
they'll get to have them. So,
Well, I just hope we're back to as much normal as possible by next fall.
yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to, you know, make masks mandatory, but if you want to wear one, you can. I'm not sure yet. I'm Methodist, I know we take their advice.
Yeah.
They're pretty conservative,
They are. And
probably for good reason.
yeah, in this situation, that you know, with a novel virus, that's the way you play it. But I can certainly tell you that I have not had a healthier winter in at least 2 decades than this one.
I have not, I've never taken a flu shot in my life, and Connie, our nurse, said, John, you might as well just go ahead and take one, and nothing. I mean, you know, as you well know, around kids, you got flu,
Sure.
they're always sick, so you're getting sick 2 or 3 times a year, but like you, nothing, I've had nothing. So,
And you know, that makes me think, I mean, I've done basically 2 things aside from, you know, kind of making sure I'm not real close to the kids. I'm not terribly distant either, but, you know. But between not handling papers, right?
Yes,
Since
yes,
most stuff's
yes.
coming in digitally.
Yep.
And wearing the mask, and then I've got a little air purifier that's not just the HEPA filter, but it's got the UV bulb in there, so
Oh, wow,
it's zapping
okay.
pathogens.
Yeah.
It's like $100. It's not. Tosh has a real similar one, different brand, but same basic idea. That she's used in her room as well, just as kind of an extra barrier.
Sure.
And man, I'm telling you, normally I'd have had, you know, a couple of different times where I'd be, you know, trying to cough up a lung. I've had trouble over the years, a couple of bad bouts with pneumonia, and I ended up with the bad version of H1N1
Oh, wow.
12 years ago. And we were on vacation in New Mexico, and that put me in the hospital in Carlsbad, including the ICU for a day and a half because they were pumping so much oxygen into me they couldn't keep me in a regular room safely.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they weren't sure I was ever going to come off of oxygen. It was something else, but I ended up with that was a sneaky one because it would accelerate and it caused a high level of pulmonary embolism.
Do they know where you think they got it from school?
Well, I got it from Tommy.
Oh.
She went to a girls' weekend in Vegas with 3 of her friends, and they brought it back with them. She got sick, Braden got sick, I got it last, but I tried to dad my way through the road trip.
Yeah, yeah.
And ended up with, you know, a bad pulmonary embolism
geez.
and you know, all but collapsing. In New Mexico, I was in the hospital, God, 10 days.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
That's not a nice vacation.
No. And, I mean, you know, you talk about people being helpful. We were only supposed to be there like, you know, overnight or a couple of days. In Carlsbad, we're staying at a little KOA north of town that has the little cabins,
Yep.
which were really cool for the kids, right? It's kind of like camping out.
Sure.
They had the folks who ran the place had this immense white Great Pyrenees that would just lie out, and it was so fun to play with. It was like a giant ambulatory rug, and we had bats come in, and beautiful clear nights. You could watch meteors. It was fantastic, right? But I mean, they worked with us, so they turned our 2-day stay, juggled everything else around, so we were there a week.
Oh wow. Okay. So they were real helpful.
Oh man, fantastic. You know, and so Tosh was there. My Peggy was along with us, my mother-in-law, and that helped. And then once it became clear I was not going to get out anytime soon,
Right.
my mom came in to help, you know, wrestle 3 kids and everything else. It was interesting, but we were supposed to do the kind of southern New Mexico, West Texas trip where we were going to run through Carlsbad, went to Roswell, and cross over to White Sands, and then come back down and go into Big Bend a little bit.
Big Bend, yeah.
Go see the observatory and the Marfa lights, and Valmaria out there, the big pools and just interesting stuff up in the mountains a little bit. Get out of Houston for this bit of the summer.
The kids got to do a little camping though.
They did, and they got to do some fun stuff. But bless poor Garrett's heart, man. He'd lost his granddad about 2 years before to cancer, and he was absolutely convinced that we basically ran out of money at the time. Tosh and the kids had to go home, but I wasn't ready to leave yet, so they left me there. And Garrett was convinced they were leaving me there to die.
Oh,
and that
Jesus.
poor kid
I was
sobbed
going to say, yeah.
all 10 hours, 11 hours back to Houston.
They had to fly you back?
Yeah, I ended up flying back. Hello? There is no sign of anybody coming out, but I'll check with Jason again. I haven't heard anything from him. Aha. Do you come bearing news, or are you just checking back in?
No, I'm just gonna hang up here until they say either way.
There's a little bit of rain behind it, but it looks like it's starting to clear. There's still some thunder. A little bit of swell picking up behind it. Now Campo.
After all the craziness and trying to get senior night to a particular place to have the weather do this to us is just heartless and cruel. My God.
Well, y'all got room to fit it in tomorrow?
I have no earthly idea what the alternatives might be at this point, because playoffs start next week.
Yeah.
Whether they could squeeze it in, and that's probably more an issue for Langham Creek than it is for us, whether they can get transportation and all that stuff. That's a hell of a lot harder to coordinate for those schools than it is for us.
Right.
Yeah, and SPC is just, there's no logic to it. I don't understand why, we can't have our championships. Instead of going to 6 teams, let's go to 4 teams.
Yeah.
Do it in one day with lacrosse, with baseball, with softball, with golf, with tennis.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing is it's going to be a south zone and a north zone and tournaments, and that's it.
What I heard, they weren't even going to do it for lacrosse. Is that
Not even for lacrosse?
No.
That's just,
There wasn't going to be anything
outdoors,
at all.
for God's sake.
I know.
I know baseball's talking about, they're going to, I think, try to do south zone week after prom, the last week of April, early May, but I don't know. And golf, I don't understand why they don't do golf.
Yeah, you think that you could get away with that one pretty
Yeah.
easy.
And tennis, your singles, you're away from each other, for God's sake.
And doubles, you're just near people you've been near
Yeah.
anyway.
SBC has ever been logical, as far as long as I know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's never been a characteristic.
No, I don't think that's a requirement. But
Yeah, hopefully it'll be totally different next year.
yeah. Well, when you think about it, I don't know why we're that worried. I think the majority of our players are vaccinated now anyway. I mean,
Yeah, I was supposed to get mine that Friday before spring break, and then Connie, our nurse, found out I was going out of town flying, and she goes, John, I'd rather you, even though there's really been no reaction to the Moderna first shot, I'd rather you not be in the air. So I said, well, Connie, then I can't get it until early May because I've got all these events coming up. So, but if I get it in early May, graduation is 2 weeks later. The third week, the second shot can knock me out. That's okay because nothing's going on. So,
Right. Oh, man.
the lightning again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So it's Ray Marshall's call. If the game is called, Jason's not here, but he thinks the plan is to move senior recognition into Altec.
Well, the floor is down, so we're almost up the floor.
There's a body. I don't know who that is, though. Kind of looks like Trauba. No,
Yeah, I
it
was gonna
isn't.
say that. It's not like a player. There's an official one out there.
Ah, okay.
At least. Yeah. Well, that south end zone area, there's an official.
Yeah.
Last time,
Lightning light is flashing, so
Okay.
oh yeah. I think this is a done deal. I'll just wait to hear the official word. Yeah, and now the rain's coming down more steady.
that's not promising.
No,
No, not in the slightest.
no. I saw the cells building up behind that main one.
Looks like they're dragging balls in. This official is maybe just grabbing his stuff. I think maybe we're calling this one. Oh yeah, boy, that just picked up all of a sudden, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And it looks like it's going to be like this throughout the night, because all these storms
it's
around
just raining. Yeah.
around Victoria and down southwest.
Hey Ray, what do you think? Yep.
They're like building up. They're forming behind.
Because Langham Creek, I mean, do they want it, how long do they want to stay? Did the lightning, did it just go off again? Yeah, the rain's coming down pretty hard. Okay, listen, I'll be over in the press box, let us know. Thanks, sir. I don't think anybody has a clue now, it just, I think it's all hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
not looking good on the radar.
I think they're gonna talk to, Langham Creek right now
Yeah.
to see what, their thoughts are.
Official just went out and made most of a lap. I don't know what his feeling is.
He's wet.
Yeah, that's true. I've always loved watching rain fall through these stadium lights, man. That's just one of the coolest things other than snow. But right now, I hope it just pushes them to go, yeah, no, this ain't happening.
Well, that was kind of cool that official to walk out all the way around the track. It seemed like it's getting wet.
I'd say for purposes of player safety, I think it's about time to call this bad boy. Yeah, it looks like they picked up all the balls. I guess I'm thinking that probably means we're done.
You got 2 bags still out there?
Yeah. Maybe those are hope bags. Wait, I see someone coming out here.
Fan, looks like.
Hey, can I borrow that?
That's a killer. Don't eat it now. You're already soaked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like an Episcopal umbrella anyway. We had construction here a couple of years ago. They cut off most of the ways you could walk from building to building inside. So they had to walk around the outside of the buildings where there's no cover, right? And so we just had these giant, 50-gallon trash cans filled with umbrellas, right? They got. Do you remember how many umbrellas? 1,000? That was what I thought. Yeah, 1,000 golf umbrellas.
But the kids would, when they're, once they got to the building, they would never close them up. They just throw them down.
Yeah, they just leave.
Like,
yeah, no.
Yeah, they're a little entitled. But
Yeah, right.
maintenance bought 1,000 of those umbrellas. They were all over the place.
Yeah, they were.
That's why we had the crumdillas.
Crumdillas, I love it. Yeah, that was.
So it's not just my kids that half-ass a lot of stuff.
Oh, Jesus, no. Forget Gen Z. I think this is half A generation. Although when they put their mind to it, they're good. They just don't put their mind to it very often.
Right.
They gotta get motivated.
Oh, if life was a video game, they'd be on target, man. I'll tell you that much.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of loyalty. It's, they stay at a job 2 or 3 years and move on to the next one. It's,
Yeah, I mean that's partly just the changes of business too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But.
Or competition, or it might be, better pay at the next job, right?
Yeah, sure.
So.
And they kind of get bored.
Yeah, they do get bored easily. A lot easier than we did back in the day.
Well, this is my 33 years here, so it's I haven't got bored yet.
No, but you got an influx every year.
Yeah, they change.
That's
so
kind of cool.
We gotta adapt. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a new crew every year.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
gosh, that's terrifying to think about. It's about 30 years since I started teaching. Yeah. I got out of it for a little bit. I did computer technology training for a while, but even that was still teaching.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was,
just
yeah.
teaching adults for a day instead of kids for a year.
And I was 2 years at Westboro. I used to be on Fountain View in
Yeah.
Westheimer, and then I was 2 years at ROB before I got here the summer of '88.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's the year I graduated from high school.
Yeah, I beat you by a year. I was 87.
Yeah, I'll be 64 years young in June. So
Yeah, you're looking good, sir. You're looking good.
Man, 45-degree angle. Got that wind.
Yeah, it's blowing it around pretty good.
Yeah, and that wind is blowing that storm right over here. It's blowing that south. That's.
Kind of a soft rain right now.
Yeah.
I work at a golf course in the morning, and that's going to be an easy day tomorrow.
Yeah, more than likely.
I'm not going to have any plans going
We had our
on.
dad's club golf tournament on Monday. Beautiful day. Then you look at Tuesday and today. It's like,
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
we didn't have it those days.
Yeah, Monday was pretty.
That's right. How'd the tournament go?
You know, we had an all-time high of participants. People just wanted to get out.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
sure.
that's the way it is.
They took their masks off and they just, you know,
Yeah,
they just had a good time.
Play.
that's
Good
good.
deal.
Where was it?
Wildcat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's good.
You know, your head of school comes to talk to you, and the tournament's over with. He doesn't have the mask on. You got to think that, you know, things are okay.
Yeah. I just heard another thunder. Huh?
Yeah, it's still rumbling around now. I mean, it could be a ways
a
off.
lightning strike up here a few seconds ago.
Oh, all right.
This ain't happening.
I mean that every time it strikes.
You got to reset the 30-minute clock.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Every time there's a hit within. Well, let's see. So that looks like a couple of air coaches.
They're going to get their stuff.
That's what I'm betting.
Yeah, this is done.
Hey guys, are we calling this or are we playing this?
It's
We're
over.
done. That's what I figured. Thank you guys.
Well, gentlemen, enjoy the conversation.
Oh, it's
Yes,
a
sir.
pleasure, man. Always good to sit and have nothing to do but chat with you. That's a good day. Okay, so
You brought us an umbrella, huh? Out of that thousands.
I brought an umbrella.
Well, the
Drive safe,
funny
guys.
thing is,
You too.
they're going to call this thing, and on our way home, it's going to drive like clear up.
yeah, completely dry out to be a
The sun's
beautiful
gonna come
evening.
out, so. Guys, drive safe.
Take care.
You too. He is that one dude you just need at every school, man.
What's that?
He's one of those dudes you just need one or two of at every school, so you've got, you know, institutional memory and humor, and the guy who's had just about every job there is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's.
What's his name?
His name's actually John Colello, but everyone just calls him Dean.
Oh, okay.
And he's been here a long time. Not quite as long as the school has existed, but damn close. They started up in '85, I think.
Uh-huh.
So